Welcome back, guys. Today we have another landscape painting that we're going to be doing. I really like to just relax and chill out and just do landscapes from time to time, and it's been about 2 months since we've done one here. So, actually, it's been about 2 months since I've done one at all, and I just miss it, so we're coming back to it. I had to put everything on my little storage containers just to be able to get the shot of the size of this canvas. But I already mapped out what we're going to be painting for the landscape. I drew it all out here just as a guide for what we're going to be painting after. So we're pretty much just going to be starting out with our underpainting, which is where I'm just going to map out where I want lights and shadows to be. So I got all these different blue colors, and I'm going to lay them down first, the way everything doesn't get muddy. So yeah, I want mountains, trees, the whole shtick, water, landscape. So we got blues and a black. I want the light to come from the center here. So I'm just going to start with a light blue. It will be more of a warm yellow later, but I don't want it to muddy and turn green, so we're going with light blue now. I'm just going to start off by dripping everything. Just want some nice blobs of paint. And then I want the light to be down here. A little bit of light reflecting off of the mountain. But yeah, we just really want to cover up every ounce of the canvas. This is the underpainting, so we are going to add lots of layers over top of it. So don't worry about it being perfect. There's going to be many layers above this. This is just to map out some color and cover up the canvas and pretty much prime it. We gotta get ready for all of the fun we're gonna pile up top of it. Now I'm just gonna let this underpainting sit and dry for quite a while. I'm gonna put my fan on it, and then we'll be able to come back and finish the rest of the painting. Well, at least we'll be working in stages. So we'll finish the next layer, and then it'll probably have to dry again, and then we'll keep layering it up, guys. Okay, and we are back. So this layer is finally dried up, so we could go ahead and start adding the next one. I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of the yellows and oranges, mainly oranges. That way I could get that sky out of the way. And then I'm going to add some of it throughout the water. I'm just going to go back and forth with it as I go, just so I can have it perfectly how I want it. And yeah, let's just get to it. I am ready. I was sitting there just rocking back and forth because I had to go through all the footage, and it was already dry because it doesn't take long. It only takes a few minutes. So I'm just ready to get back into it. So let's do it. And honestly, I cannot stress enough how much I love this coral color up in the sky, like with this blue. I've been meaning to do this color combo for a while, this blue and coral, but I just didn't want to go through that many layers, honestly, at the time. But now that I'm prepared for it, I'm just ready. I just love it. And now I'm gonna go ahead, and I think I'm gonna start adding in the mountain. Yeah, let's go for a mountain. I have my palette knife, and I'm just gonna go in. So I want to go in with, I think, the light blue with our palette knife. And I'm just gonna start adding in our mountain up on this horizon here and try to drag it off. Actually, no, I should probably go, yeah, I'll go in the dark blue. And then I'll add the highlights over that. That'll be better. Yeah, that's better. I'm just gonna drag it off. So yeah, I really like the combination of light and dark blue on this. I'm not getting the exact detail I wanted with this mountain. Oh no, I want it to be a little pointy. Okay, yeah, I'll drag it off that way. I'm gonna add in some of that light blue and just drag it. You know, as I'm looking at this, I wonder why I don't add mountains more often. Like, I'll have little peaks, but I don't know, I really like it. And now I'm going to go in with some of the mid-tone blue. The other is still going to be there, but just to really bring out this mountain. I want to, yeah, go off all the way behind the tree line. So I'm going to go up here. Some more of this dark blue for contrast. Now I'm finally going to start going in a little bit with a brush. And I'm going to start gradually adding it down, which is also why I said I added some of that highlight a little soon. But I will be watering down this blue, so maybe I could keep those highlights, maybe not. I could always add more, but I want it to be very deep dark blue. So I'm just going to gradually add it, watering down some of my darkest blue and just blending it out throughout the painting. I really like how it looks when I layer the dark blue over top the black. It makes it even deeper. So now I just need to be patient, let this layer dry too. Then I can add in the tree, add more layers to that because I am wanting a pop of red. So that'll be another color that's different because it is going to be majority blue. But I need this part of the mountain to fully dry before I could put that in. I also want to add some flowers and stuff on this little area down here by these little rocks. So yeah. I also need to add in the trees on this side, the far right. So yeah, there's lots of little details we're missing. The sun. Or add that in next layers. Okay, now we're finally going to go in and start painting in some of our trees. Yeah, I'm just going to start off painting the little trees. I'm going to start off with a little point up here and then work it all down. Now we're making these little pine trees. I definitely want some of the background to peek through it a bit. And now the other tree. This is the second tallest tree. Very carefully dotted out. This one I need to especially be careful of because it is by that pretty coral color. And I really want some of that to shine through. So I don't want to have to redo this tree. High risk spot, high reward. But we don't want to cover up all of that work we did on the background. So I'm going to put more tree trunks down here. Start them off very thin. These are going to be our little baby trees on the horizon. We need another baby tree around the back here. Okay, we finally finished our batch of trees in the back here for that horizon. We have them all planned out. And if you remember before, we actually planned for a big tree over here. So we're definitely going to start mapping out that one again. Start off with the trunk, add in the leaves and the layers, and I do want a pop of red up here. I am locked in. Okay, so just going in with black to add in that tree trunk from the very bottom. I'm going to try to keep it relatively thin. Bring out this branch over here, all the way up and over. I want to go all the way up to the top of the painting. Now I need another branch to, actually no, I'm going to thicken it up first. I'm going to make the line thicker. And now I'm actually going to be going in with that dark blue color for the background of the leaves of this tree. And then for the highlights, we're going to add in some of that red and maybe even that coral. I'm just going to let some of that background peek through. Okay, we have our blue all laid out. Now I'm going to need to let that fully dry before we add in the red or anything else because we don't want it to blend. Yeah, for the shrubbery, I'm going to start off... Wait, hold on. Where is the red? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and add red to my color palette because it was not already there. I didn't want to dry out before we reach this stage. But I am going to start off with the orange. I'm going to just take it right around here. I'm just going to lightly staple it, add little dots, have it flare up and around to add in our little bushes. I'm just going to splatter it a bit over here. Now I have that orange there. I'm going to take in some of our red. And I'm just going to let that trickle off around here. We really want our foliage to pop off. I'm going to trickle it around. It's just adding a lot of nice contrast around here. Yeah, I'm going to take in some red. It is going to probably dry darker than it's going on, unfortunately. So I'm going to take a brush that bristles, flare out a bit. I'm going to take this peach color and I'm going to dab it around this light blue area and just drag it around. And then right here, under to where the sun would be, we're going to add in the white. We want that part of the water to be very light and reflective because it's reflecting the entire sun off of it. So it's going to be the brightest part of the water right there. And then we definitely want it to trickle down. So now I'm going to take my palette knife. I'm going to try to make it lighter than I did before. Like the lines thinner, if I can. We especially want it across the horizon. And I'm going to be taking white. I'm going to be taking white and just tapping it across. And now I'm going to add some of this light blue and white to some of these rocks. I'm going to add rocks down here. Yeah, so right in front of this foliage. There. Now we have terrain there. And now for this mountain in the foreground, I'm actually going to add in the peach color and some of the white because we want it to be very light. And now I'm going to go in with our deep red color for our tree. We're going to add in this yellow color for the very rim that is closest towards the sun. I'm going to go in a little more red. And now we just need to highlight our tree. I'm going to go in with the orange color again. And I'm just going to drag it across the branches. Or at least the stump and everything. I'm going to drag it up. Anywhere that I feel is a little too bright for where it's at, I'm just going to try to wipe away. Brush a little bit with water. Just to dull it up a tiny bit. And here we go. Just need to sign it and we have a finished painting. So here is our finished painting. Give you guys a nice, good view of it. Let's show you guys some different lighting because we need to do it justice. Yeah, with a warmer lighting, you can definitely see all of that. Actually, I almost forgot to varnish it. I'm gonna brush it off with a varnish, and then I'm gonna show you guys the real final reveal. I honestly almost forgot this step entirely, so I'm glad I caught it because it's so satisfying, like the final varnish and all those last touches are nice. Okay guys, it's all dry and done. We finally have our finished painting. This was so much fun. And if you guys enjoyed crafting with me today, don't forget to subscribe and tag along for future uploads because there's always so many projects. I always have at least one project in the making, so sometimes they take a while, but whenever they come out, there'll just be more and more, and there'll always be more stuff like this along the way. So, bye guys. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today.